else here in the arena, CNN legal analyst, former federal prosecutor Elliot Williams, CNN political commentator, host of the Off the Cup podcast, SE Cup, former communications director in the Biden White House, that's not right, CNN chief political analyst David Axelrod.
Decidedly not right.
Republican Congressman and Speaker Pro Tem Patrick McHenry, that's what I get for just reading the teleprompter.
Yes.
Dave, of course, was the chief architect of Barack Obama's campaigns, among other esteemed accomplishments in the political arena. And so, David, let me start with you on this. You know, I want to stipulate that, you know, we here at CNN are going with Paula's reporting right now. Her reporting is that this investigation is into people around the governor, including his wife. Now, Newsom has said this is an investigation into me, and will, of course, leave open that our reporting may uncover new things. But this obviously is part of the political environment in which we are living, and Newsom decided to do what he did, put out this video basically talking directly to voters, directly to Americans, trying to take on the president. How do you view this particular point in our unfolding political drama?
Yeah, you know, I saw in your prompters, let's go in the arena, and it sounded like we were in the arena already with Newsom and the president. Look, first of all, I don't know what's going on. Maybe Elliot can discern all of this.
Oh, I don't know what's going on either.
I don't know what's going on. I sold my, relative to the president and the Justice Department, I sold, well, they'll never do that stock a long time ago. And he's made it clear that he will go after his political enemies. That said, there's no doubt that there's also, this is a fight that's profitable potentially for Gavin Newsom. I'd be enraged if they went after my wife, if I were in politics, and I thought that it was politically motivated. But there's also political profit in this. I mean, he rose to the top of the candidates by fighting with Trump, and he has signaled that he will be the biggest, baddest, trolling pugilist there is in the Democratic Party, and this just renews all of that. So two things can be true. He can be enraged, and it could be outrageous, but there's also profit in it.
Political upside. Yeah. Congressman, what do you think?
Oh, there's politics and politics, right? I mean, so look, this is important if true, right? And I think we can say that about much of what happens in our media cycle each week, right? Important if true. We don't know that it's true. We don't know the nature of it. But we do know the motivation here. He is a candidate. This raises his profile. He's certainly in the media cycle. He will certainly be raising money, or has already probably sent out a fundraising email about this. However, here in D.C., the only way we're going to be able to ascertain any more facts about this is with the Deputy Attorney General going for the nomination and has been nominated to be Attorney General. And so Blanche will be before the U.S. Senate in the month of July on a 12 to 10 panel. Where one retiring, one defeated Republican senators. So you have two Republican senators that hold the sway here. They will certainly have questions about this, and they will certainly ascertain the set of facts, not on behalf of presidential candidate Newsom, but on behalf of a number of questions that they have for this administration.
Yeah, how about like the Constitution and the rule of law? Maybe they'll ask questions on that behalf.
SE Cup, two things can be true at the same time, right? That we need to have a system that holds people who are in public office who act improperly accountable.
Sure.
Right? We absolutely need to have that. It can also be true that if the system is used in a way that does not live up to the ideals of impartiality and nonpartisan acting, it's going to discourage good people from getting into the ring.
Yeah, and we've seen that happen. We know that that's happened. But I think if there's like which you all were alluding to, if there's a pie, I think the percentage that Gavin Newsom is enraged is like 10%. The rest is like really excited. Like this is exactly what Gavin Newsom wants. It's why he got dressed up, put on a tie, and stood behind the seal of the state of California and posted this very dramatic press conference because he wants to be Trump's main foil. That is good for business. And what Trump doesn't seem to realize yet is it's bad for Trump. I'll remind people that James Tallarico was polling double digits behind Jasmine Crockett in Texas before Trump pointed at him and said, that interview you did with Stephen Colbert, that's a big problem and I'm coming for you. Well, that was great for James Tallarico and for business. Same Mark Kelly. When Trump pointed at Mark Kelly and attacked him for that video where he was encouraging servicemen and women not to follow illegal orders. Well, Mark Kelly just became a presidential nominee because of that. So he has a habit of making these guys, turning them into resistance heroes. And Gavin Newsom has been reaping the benefits of that, and I am sure is, looking forward to this fight.
Elliot Williams, what does it say to you? The reporting here is that this came out of California, and that's obviously not the same as Main Justice here in Washington. Can you help us understand the difference and what that might mean?
Yeah. So each, there's 90, I believe, 3 U.S. attorneys' offices around the country. They are, in many respects, their own little worlds. What's interesting is I thought it was going to be coming out of Los Angeles, which that U.S. attorney's office is run sort of by a much more partisan attack dog who's made a name for himself in that sense. We don't know a ton about the Sacramento U.S. attorney. He just hasn't been out there as much. Now, if wrongdoing is being alleged in the city of Sacramento or around it, that's the U.S. attorney's office that would prosecute or at least investigate it.
But Elliot, is it plausible that they're investigating the wife of the governor of California, who is obviously a prominent political figure in our country, and pretty quickly that the bell wasn't rung somewhere here in Washington and this didn't rise to the top?
Oh, it would be, well, in any other normal circumstance, if the wife of a major politician were being investigated, it would be the Office of the Deputy Attorney General back here in Washington who would need to green light that just to ensure the kinds of problems we're talking about today, to avoid the kind of politicization of the Justice Department or of the system. You just want to make sure that rogue folks aren't going after their political enemies and that everybody's on board.
And remind me who the deputy.
Thank you, Counselor. It is Todd Blanche, the acting Attorney General right now.
Yeah.
So, it's just, a few things can be true at the same time. Number one, the president does have an established pattern right now of going after his political enemies. Number two, the standard for opening an investigation is actually very low. They simply have to have some indication that some crime might have been committed somewhere or might happen in the future. And most importantly, we don't know much more beyond that. I think it's easy to panic in light of that first point I made about the president's history here, but you just don't.
But we've created an environment, because the president has so politicized the Department of Justice, we've created an environment of suspicion that makes kind of what would be sort of fantastical seem very, very possible, because he has fingered people. He has said we have to prosecute them. They've been prosecuted. Several of those cases have been thrown out as frivolous. And Mr. Blanche has made it clear he's willing to be an instrument of those prosecutions.
Yeah, and I will just say, and I know people who watch this program watch it every day, and they should. Something we were just talking about a few days ago is that it is well documented that federal courts around the country do not trust the Justice Department anymore. They're not trusting the things that they're putting on paper. They're not trusting the statements that they're making in court because of these kinds of allegations that are actually not even allegations at a certain point. It's because of the behavior that they've been engaging in since the beginning of the administration.
Yeah. Congressman, Newsom seemed particularly focused, and when you watch this video and you listen to his comments, when he's talking about his wife, that's where he sounds kind of the most angry.
I don't believe anything he says.
Same.
So I'm like, it doesn't work on me. And Scott Bessent's Secretary of the Treasury's insults of Gavin Newsom are particularly funny to me because they're so harsh and so cutting. He calls him Sparkle Sparkle Beach Ken doll or something like that. So it never hits me whenever he gets emotional. I think it's just fake. But I'm not a Democratic primary voter, so I don't really matter for that. What he's trying to do is elevate what may actually be a problem in his network. We don't know this. We don't know whether or not this is just pure politics at play here, or whether or not there is true corruption around him. When we have in the reporting here that a former chief of staff went to jail, not for actions as Sparkle Beach Ken of his administration, but related to actions that they took. So look, may not be pure politics. Let's wait and see.
It is worth noting, I think, that there was nothing in that investigation of the chief of staff that ended up connecting any wrongdoing to the governor, but that, of course, doesn't answer potentially the many questions that all of this raises. We're going to have to wait and find out. Coming up